Hello and welcome to Barely Afraid. Today we dive into the most jaw-dropping sightings of the king of the cryptid world, Bigfoot. Riding in, we arrive in the forest where a hunter has caught on camera what he believes to be a Bigfoot. The story begins one day when a man decided to go hunt some deer. As he arrived in the woods, he climbed up into his tree blind to get a good vantage point in order to complete his hunt. However, it isn't long until out of nowhere this creature appears. Initially caught off guard, the hunter began to squint his eyes to make sure he was actually seeing what was in front of him. After a short while, he pulled out his phone and recorded the following footage.
What in the world is that thing? It looks like a deer.
As you watch, it seems quite apparent that the creature is comfortable where they are. They walk as though they own this piece of the woods, or at least live nearby. Zooming in and slowing down the frames, you can get a clearer picture of just what is walking around below the man. This is where the first controversy of the clip comes into play. Upon seeing a zoomed-in version, many people online began to speculate that this is just a brown or black bear. It's not uncommon to see black bears kind of wandering around on two legs, especially when they are smelling the air or investigating the area nearby. Perhaps if this is a bear, they smelled the man only 50 yards away. However, it's what happens next that gives believers 2 feet to stand on. No pun intended. As the brown figure shuffles off out of view of the camera, low howls can be heard from the direction that the figure had disappeared to. Of course, to many people online, and especially to the man, they point out that those sounds definitely didn't sound like a bear, at least not to them. Breaking the sighting down further, when you do a side-by-side comparison of a bear walking and the creature, the movements seem different. A bear has more of an unstable rocking manner, mainly in its upper body whenever taking steps, whereas the figure in the video walks with one fluid motion, almost like a person. After the howls, the hunter waited for almost half an hour before making his way down from his tree blind and out of the woods to safety. What do you think? Is this a bear? Or is it a Sasquatch that was letting the hunter know this was its territory and was kindly inviting the man to leave? You decide. Flying in, we land in the great state of Georgia, a Bigfoot hotspot in the US. A man was outside when, to his shock, he claims to have seen a Bigfoot run across the road. As it ran across, he took note of its dark hair and staggering height. In an effort to capture it on camera, he followed it into the nearby woods where he was able to track it and get the upcoming footage. Slowing down the footage, it's almost like the creature is panicking while trying to get away. It even seems as though it is actively making an attempt to walk away as quietly as possible. As far as Bigfoot footage goes, this is pretty clear. Even though the camera does get shaky at some points, it's easy to follow and track the figure as it seemingly attempts to get away. However, it's the low growl that the creature seemingly emits that has many people convinced this was definitely the real deal. After hearing this low growl, the man reportedly stopped following the apparent Bigfoot. He claimed that after hearing that, he took it as a warning that he should end his pursuit then and there. Like usual, many skeptics pointed to a man in a suit, or perhaps an injured bear that just wanted to be left alone. This frame alone shows the bodily rotation of the arm itself. It doesn't move like a bear's, but rather closely mimics a human's. It is important to remind everyone that, like we said before, Georgia is one of the top Bigfoot hotspots in the US. Every year, people report seeing large, dark, and hairy humanoids crossing roads, walking along rivers, and hiding throughout the woods. Other reportings include that of tree knocks, and even long, eerie howls or roars. Check out this audio clip, reportedly taken in a remote stretch of woods in Georgia in 2017. While we weren't able to find the exact location in Georgia that this took place, it really makes you wonder, is Bigfoot really in the Georgian woods? And if they are, what do they want? Perhaps they just want to be left alone. I mean, if you go back to the beginning, it was their land before it was ours. Crashing in, we swoop into a shot that was taken not too long ago. In this shot, a paraglider is said to have been gliding over a mountain when out of nowhere they happen upon what seems to be a Bigfoot or Yeti walking along the top of the mountain. Since the paraglider was moving so fast, they didn't immediately come to the conclusion that they may have just spotted a Sasquatch on top of the mountain. When they were on the ground again, they checked their camera footage and saw the apparent Sasquatch that they had unexpectedly surprised. When you slow the frame down, you can see what appears to be a female body shape. The paraglider just narrowly misses the being before continuing their flight. When you zoom in, it's still pretty difficult to see the face of the creature, but many people online have pointed out its resemblance to Patty. Others have even highlighted some footage that appeared online a few years ago. This footage, of course, being of a supposed female Bigfoot that has been injured as it makes its way across a meadow. Side by side, they do resemble each other quite well. But could this really be another female caught on camera? Looking at the arm length of the creature, it does point to this actually being a creditable sighting. In the Bigfoot community, long arms is always a good indication that a Bigfoot sighting might be legit. However, whether this is real or not is not for us to decide. Is this a true Bigfoot sighting? Is this just a Bigfoot that wanted to enjoy the nice breeze along with the scenic view? Or could this be something more human, or something even worse? That deliberation is left to you. Dropping in from above comes a sighting that happened in Central Oregon, which remains as one of the biggest hotspots in North America. The video itself was uploaded on July 28th of 2018. However, it was recently highlighted as one of the more creditable sightings in the last decade. The uploader mentions in the description that they had saw the creature multiple times, and that it was initially trying to capture a deer when it was first spotted.
I'm not kidding. That thing's, we've seen it multiple times.
Oh my god, oh my god.
It's coming over here. It's coming over here.
Go inside.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Can someone get the flashlight? Go get the flashlight, Eric. Holy what the
Nobody, everybody's inside.
The uploader admits that upon initial release, his footage was not received well. Many people began calling him a hoaxer, and even went as far as to look up personal info on him. After a few desperate tries to convince everyone that he in fact did not orchestrate this, the uploader accepted defeat and let the sighting fade away.
Watch it. Get the flashlight on it.
Hey! Hey!
However, as people have come back to look at the sightings, they point out a few things. One being the length of the arms as well as how tall the figure seems to stand above the tall grass. Others seem to give credit to the sighting based off of how all the people present react as the figure gets closer and closer.
Somebody. Is it your neighbor?
I don't. Go check his house. We've checked his house after every time. Matt, how many times have we checked Tom's house?
Tom's? Yeah.
How many times have we checked?
I forgot that he was here before. I forgot about that video. I completely.
In terms of Bigfoot sightings, this is indeed intriguing, and honestly the one thing that this for sure has in common with other sightings is how blurry the video is. One person online suggested the theory of why Bigfoot is always blurry as the culprit. This theory being, of course, The interdimensional being theory. Put quite simply, this theory suggests that Bigfoot can slip between dimensions. This means that to avoid capture or being caught on camera, they are able to partially phase into another plane of existence. Once they do this, its form becomes hard to capture clearly on cameras, which in turn produces the blur or distortion. However, one person offers a more human explanation and points out that their phone's camera was just about as good in 2018 as the one that captured the video. To be honest, 2018 feels like a lifetime ago, so I'll leave it to you to decide. It seems a third of the people that have witnessed this sighting are ready to call it a hoax. A different third is ready to attribute the bad camera quality to the interdimensional being theory. And the other third is convinced that the big man without a doubt made a visit to our friends just before the sun set on this particular day. However, the deliberation is left in your hands.
My heart is pounding right now.
Dropping in, where a group of people took to the Talamina State Park in Oklahoma. Uploaded originally 3 years ago in 2022 by a YouTube channel called Oklahoma Adventures. 3 people decide to go hunt for our big friend. After spending much of the night trying to track them, they happen upon a small section where they come to a stop. Not long after, multiple Bigfoot can be seen moving in a hurriedly manner to seemingly get away. This has caused a lot of debate among the Bigfoot community. Many people claim it is real due to the eye shine and location alone. Others claim that this is a Bigfoot channel, and it would be in the best interest of the creators if the channel could actually capture Bigfoot, real or not. It is worth mentioning that this section of Oklahoma is notoriously known for Bigfoot sightings. According to the BFRO, the Talamina State Park is home to multiple Class A reports of Bigfoot. This, of course, means that someone actually saw a Bigfoot rather than just heard one or found tracks. While it has recently garnered more attention, the debate to whether this is real or not is still alive and well. What do you think? Is this too Bigfoot trying to get out of the limelight? Or did our 3 friends bring actors along with their lights and cameras? You, tell me. Walking in, we land at the window of a man where he has put up a security camera after experiencing some strange happenings at his home. On more than one occasion, he had noticed dark shadows and figures seemingly peering in through the window at him. After one too many incidents, he decided to set up a camera. A few nights would pass without any activity. With the hope of capturing proof to try to ease his mind that there was nothing there, the man left the camera despite the empty footage. What he would capture next would do everything except ease his mind. Upon initial review, the man shrugged the footage off as nothing more than a bear that was trying to see what was inside. However, after illuminating the footage, it was clear that this wasn't just a bear, at least not to the man's belief. Even though the footage isn't the best, you can still make out a large dark figure with glowing eyes. The glowing eyes alone eliminate the possibility of this being a human. Certain animals have a specific characteristic that makes their eyes glow at night when any kind of light is thrust upon them. It's usually animals that use night vision and are more active at night. It's called tapetum lucidum, which is Latin for shining layer. Bigfoot are thought to share this trait. But this is where the story gets better. While it is true that Mr. Big has eyes that shine like a diamond, many online also point out that Dogman have the same shiny eyes and usually overlap territories with our big friend. If you don't know what a Dogman is, here's a brief explanation. A Dogman is a tall, wolf-like cryptid that walks on 2 legs. They usually stand anywhere from 6 to 8 feet tall with broad shoulders, clawed hands, and glowing amber or red eyes. Sometimes they're confused with werewolves, but the main difference is that dogmen are thought to be actual creatures living inside remote forests and rural parts of the world, whereas werewolves are more largely considered a myth tied to supernatural origins. Dogmen don't change back into a human after the full moon. Instead, dogmen are in their creature state 24/7. They live in the forests and are said to be territorial. Sound like anyone else we know? It's believed in some circles that Bigfoot and Dogman don't typically get along. Sharing many of the same characteristics both physically and behaviorally, they are both regarded as interdimensional beings that roam the forests, especially the ones in North America. It's often thought that while Bigfoot are more curious and protective, Dogmen are usually predatory and chaotic. Looking back at the video, many people offered the conclusion that this beast doesn't look like it's simply looking in out of curiosity, but rather with aggressive intent. In one specific moment of the video, some people have offered that you can see more of a snout of a dog. Watching further, they even speculate that the head of the creature resembles more of a giant dog head rather than the cone-shaped heads that Bigfoot are said to have. With it remaining unclear, many have left the speculation of this sighting to the man himself, but even he is left dumbfounded. With that, we ask you, is this a dogman that was trying to get inside this man's house with darkened intent? Is this just Mr. Big seeing why all of a sudden there is a new camera at his favorite window? Or is this something more easily explained? You be the judge. Swooping in, we have probably some of the clearest footage we've ever seen to suggest that Bigfoot is among us. Albeit this footage is about a decade old at this point, it was something we here at the channel had never managed to see. In this clip, a man has traveled to the Lincoln Woods Wildlife Reserve in Leominster, Massachusetts. He claims that as he was testing out his camera, he heard a noise a few hundred feet behind him that summoned his attention, thus starting the brief encounter.
Focus.
Many people attribute the noise to that of a tree knock. Most commonly associated as a form of communication or territorial display, many Bigfoot sightings are paired with these tree knocks. After turning around, the camera captures an orange humanoid exiting the area. Many believe this to be a juvenile Bigfoot that happened upon the man by accident. Skeptics point to the possibility of this being a human in a suit, while believers say that the being was moving way too fast to be human. There is also the apparent howl at the end of the video. All these years later, and we're still here left to wonder, is this a young Bigfoot doing its own version of a ding-dong ditch? Or is the real reason the man had his camera out to simply record his friend run around the forest in a Bigfoot suit? The conclusion is left to you. If you enjoyed tonight's countdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Have a creepy clip or ghost encounter of your own? Drop it in the comments or send it to our email that just might appear in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep your lights on tonight. You never know what might be standing in the dark.